What is the process where the seed gets water and sunlight in order to sprout?
Nice work! You chose germination, and it is correct.
I live in Dehradun. Which board I will get the water bill from?
Great thinking. Uttarakhand Jal Sandstone is the right choice. Gatsasa Lake was constructed in 1367 AD. How old is it?
Bravo. 61st is the answer. What is the process leaves used to make food from the sun?
You got it? Your choice photosynthesis is right. How many interconnected lakes were there in Gad-Caesar? Right again. 9 is a valid answer. It is the spreading of seeds to other places. Nicely done. Seed dispersal is a solid answer.
Which word means to separate or break apart?
Well done. Scatter is the right choice. Which desert makes up most of Rajasthan?
Solid response. The Great Indian Desert is a valid choice. Where is Jaisalmer in Rajasthan state? Correct response. West Rajasthan is the most accurate answer. Process shown in picture is known as?
On track. Evaporation is the correct answer.
Where do plants get their food from? Smart move. The leaves is an accurate answer. Identify the picture. Good job. Your answer step well works well here. The Earth's surface is 3/4 water. Which of the following fractions is equivalent to this amount?
Sharp thinking. 9/12 is the right choice. Due date on water bill is 29 June 2020. You can pay the bill without fine on which date? Nice selection. 29 June 2020 is the correct and valid answer.
Rajasthan has unique way of water conservation in olden days. Tick the correct answer. You chose all of these, and it is correct. Taran Bharat Sangh is a non-government association in Rajasthan. It is led by Dash.
Great job. Dr. Rajendra Singh is the accurate answer.
What is the name of the canal that provides water to desert area of Rajasthan? Well picked. Indira Gandhi Canal is the correct answer. The continuous movement of water within the earth and atmosphere is called the You're right. Water cycle is the correct answer.
The soil around the tree and park should be covered with concrete and cement.
Valid point. False is true. About what % of the total water present on the earth is fresh water? Smart pick. 3 is the correct choice. What do we call the technique to store the rainwater in underground tank? Strong choice. Rainwater harvesting is the right answer.
I have hooks to cling to animal fur. What is likely my dispersal method?
Exactly. Animals make sense, and it is right choice.
Rain, snow, sleet, or hail that falls to or condense on the ground means.
Good thinking. Precipitation is the right answer.
What part of the seed provides food for the plant as it begins to grow?
Well reasoned. Cotyledon is the correct choice. What part of the seed protects the seed until the plant begins to grow?
Excellent. Seed coat is a brilliant choice. Which of the following arrangements was based on rainwater collection? Perfect step well is the correct choice. Which of the following state is not a neighboring state of Rajasthan? Correct. Telangana is the right answer. I have parachute-like structures. What is likely my dispersal method? Clear logic. Your choice wind is sound and 100% true. Which of the following information you will get on the water bill? Or
Right choice. All of these is the best answer.
Which type of road doesn't allow rainwater to soak in the ground?
Excellent choice. Cemented roads is the right answer.
the total percentage of fresh drinking water on Earth is around. Clear logic. Your choice 0.3% is sound and 100% true. The state in which the new bride worships the water source is S-. Valid point. Uttarakhand is true. The lady who helped in getting water in Alwar district is Dayash. Perfect. Dirty is the correct choice. Which of the following is not a method for water conservation?
Smart pick. Groundwater extraction is the correct choice.
The dash is the part of a young plant that grows straight up.
You got it. Your choice shoot is right.
Which of the following arrangements were made for travelers?
Exactly. All of these make sense and it is right choice.
Which one of the following is not a stage of the water cycle?
On track. Purification is the correct answer.
Where does the energy that powers the water cycle come from? Excellent choice. The sun is the right answer. Which one of the following is not an example of evaporation? Nice work. You chose cloud formation, and it is correct. Artificial lakes were made in earlier times in order to save. Well reasoned. Rainwater is the correct choice. Which of these states receives the least amount of rainfall? Excellent. Rajasthan is a brilliant choice. Which of the following units could be used to measure water?
Good thinking. Liters is the right answer.
How many interconnected lakes were there in Gadsizar Lake? Correct response. 9 is the most accurate answer. Talabs, Stepwell, and Johod were made for thirsty travelers. Well done. True is the right choice.
Question of the day from which of these animals climb trees?
Bravo. Crocodile is the answer.
Which part of the plant is underground and soaks up water? Great thinking. Root is the right choice.
Name the traveler who wrote about the usefulness of ponds.
Solid response. Al-Biruni is a valid choice.
The process of collecting and storing rainwater is called
Smart move. Rainwater harvesting is an accurate answer. In which district of Rajasthan Gadsizar Lake is situated? Good job. Your answer, Jaisalmer, works well here. Among these, which is not the traditional source of water? Great job. Tap is the accurate answer. The extract of Darki Mai is taken from the book named. Nicely done. Story of 4 cows is a solid answer. Name of the group that helped Darki Mai by making a lake. Nice selection. Taran-Barrett union is the correct and valid answer.
The process of changing water to water vapor is called.
Well picked. Evaporation is the correct answer.
Which of the following is not a source of fresh water? If.
Strong choice. Ocean is the right answer.
What is the main source of water collection in hills?
Right again. Water harvesting system is a valid answer.
Raised platforms made around lakes were also known as.
You're right. Chubutras is the correct answer.
Which of the following do not need water for survival?
Correct. Rock is the right answer.
The Book of Al-Biruni helps us to know about the dash.
You chose past, and it is correct.
Which is the biggest and deepest ocean in the world?
Sharp thinking. Pacific Ocean is the right choice.
Which of the following places is not in Rajasthan?
Right choice. Lahore is the best answer.
How much of Earth's surface is covered with water?
Excellent. 3/4 is a brilliant choice.
How much part of the Earth is covered with water?
Clear logic. Your choice 75% is sound and 100% true.
What is the most saltiest water body in the world?
Solid response. Dead Sea is a valid choice.
How much percentage of water is present on Earth?
Right choice.
97 is the best answer.
The principle of floating and sinking depends on.
Good thinking. Density is the right answer.
What part of the seed grows into the new plant? Excellent choice. Embryo is the right answer.
The technique to store rainwater is called dash.
Nice selection. Rainwater harvesting is the correct and valid answer.
What is the largest state of India?
Valid point. Rajasthan is true.
How many lakes are connected in Gadsazar Lake?
Good job. Your answer 9 works well here.
Which R is not included in the concept of thirst?
You're right. Recharge is the correct answer.
Rainwater harvesting helps in dash of water.
Strong choice. Conservation is the right answer. Which is the smallest continent in the world?
Nice work. You chose Australia and it is correct.
There were 9 interconnected lakes in Dash.
You got it. Your choice, Gadesisar, is right.
Any useful material that is found in nature?
Nicely done. Natural resource is a solid answer.
Dash lakes were interconnected in Gadsizar.
Well picked. 9 is the correct answer.
Identify the name of an insectivorous plant.
Well reasoned. Nepenthes is the correct choice.
Plants and animals also need water to live.
On track. True is the correct answer.
From which country Al-Biruni came to India?
You chose Uzbekistan, and it is correct.
I which year there was no rain in Jodhpur?
Right again. 1986 is a valid answer.
Why the sea water is not fit for drinking?
Great thinking. Because it contains salts is the right choice.
Which are the festivals related to water?
Great job. Holi and Chhath Puja is the accurate answer. Dash is the purest form of natural water. Exactly. Rain makes sense and it is right choice. A dash is a soft shell that holds seeds. Correct. Pod is the right answer.
Which is the world's biggest sea animal?
Perfect. Blue whale is the correct choice.
Step wells are known as dash in Rajasthan.
Correct response. Bhavdis is the most accurate answer.
Which is not a reason of water shortage.
Sharp thinking. Throwing garbage is the right choice. Which is not a source of irrigation dash. Smart pick. Sleep well is the correct choice. The group of people who helped Darky Mai.
Smart move. Taran Barrett Union is an accurate answer.
In which subject Al-Biruni is skilled at? Bravo. Math and physics is the answer. What % of brain is made of water? Well done. 75 is the right choice. Which king got the Gadsisar Lake made? Correct response. Gutsi is the most accurate answer. Name the largest dam in India. Excellent. Bokra Nangal Dam is a brilliant choice. Raised platforms made around the lakes. Nicely done. Tributris is a solid answer. Seed used as a spice in our homes dash. Sharp thinking. Cumin is the right choice. Salt is made by the following process.
Great job. Evaporation is the accurate answer.
What is the another name of stepwell?
Great thinking. Bhavdi is the right choice.
Where do plants get their food from? Good thinking. From the sun is the right answer. Step wells are also called as balis. You got it? Your choice true is right. Name the longest river in the world. Clear logic? Your choice Nile is sound and 100% true. Plant which grows without seeds dash. You chose potato, and it is correct. Gadsisar is present in which city? Correct. Jaisalmer is the right answer. Al-Biruni came from which country? Excellent choice. Uzbekistan is the right answer. Al-Biruni was a traveler from Dash.
Right choice. Uzbekistan is the best answer.
What do the roots of a tree absorb?
Smart pick. Water and nutrients is the correct choice. Which place did Al-Biruni belong to? Smart move. Uzbekistan is an accurate answer. The special dance of Mizo is Dash. Solid response. Chera is a valid choice. What is the meaning of Chabutras? Bravo, high platform is the answer. Fruits and vegetables are full of. Nice work. You chose nutrition, and it is correct. Many places in Rajasthan get dash. You're right. Very less rainfall is the correct answer. Water was stored in olden days in. Nice selection. Lakes and step wells is the correct and valid answer. What is the capital of Rajasthan? Strong choice. Jaipur is the right answer. Name the longest river in Odisha. On track? Mahanadi is the correct answer.
Name the smallest river in India.
Perfect. Ari is the correct choice. The main source of water on Earth. Well done. Rain is the right choice.
Al-Biruni came to India from Dash.
Well reasoned. Uzbekistan is the correct choice. What is the main source of water? Valid point. Rain is true. The Dandi March is also called as. Well picked. The Salt March is the correct answer. Chilies came to India from Dash. Right again. South America is a valid answer. The causes of water scarcity are. Good job. Your answer, all of the above, works well here. Without water, there is no dash. Exactly. Life makes sense and it is right choice. The color of pure water is dash. You're right. Colorless is the correct answer. Dash is collected in this lake. Nice selection. Rainwater is the correct and valid answer. How are seeds scattered around? Good thinking. All of the above is the right answer. Tarang means dash in language. On track. Forest is the correct answer. Water is used to put out fire. Right again. True is a valid answer. Who came from Uzbekistan dash? Nicely done. Byron is a solid answer. Man-made sources of water are? Correct response. Lakes and ponds is the most accurate answer. Velcro was discovered by Dash. Great thinking. George Mestral is the right choice. Do rubber bands sink or float? You chose float, and it is correct. What do plants need to grow? Exactly. All of the above makes sense, and it is right choice. Natural sources of water are. Clear logic. Your choice rivers and waterfalls is sound and 100% true. Alwar is a district of Dash. Good job. Your answer, Rajasthan, works well here. Rainwater harvesting means. Correct. Water conservation is the right answer. What is the meaning of SA? Strong choice. Lake is the right answer. Coffee bean came from Dash. Nice work. You chose Africa and it is correct. King Gatsy is the king of. Right choice. Jaisoma is the best answer. Rajasthan gets very little. Well reasoned. Rainfall is the correct choice. How many lakes are there? Sharp thinking. 9 is the right choice. Meaning of deforestation. Excellent choice. Cutting a tree is the right answer. Bavdi is another name of. Solid response. Stepwell is a valid choice. All Baruni was from Dash. Well done. Uzbekistan is the right choice. Main source of water is. Smart move. Rain is an accurate answer. Stepwells are called as. Excellent. Body is a brilliant choice.
Gadsisa means a dash. Perfect. Lake is the correct choice. Who built Gadsisa? Smart pick. King Gatsy is the correct choice.
Step well is a dash.
Bravo, violence is the answer.
Who made Gadsisa?
You got it. Your choice, King Gadsy of Jaisalmer, is right.
Which is different?
Well picked. Johad is the correct answer.
Al-Biruni came from.
Great job. Uzbekistan is the accurate answer.
What does Sa mean?
Valid point. Pond is true.
What is Gadsisa?
Good job.
Your answer, Lake, works well here.
Who was Al-Biruni?
Right choice. Traveler is the best answer. Water has no dash. Valid point. Color is true.
When was it made?
Solid response. 650 years ago is a valid choice. Jaisalmer is in.
Excellent. Rajasthan is a brilliant choice.
Bodhisar dash.
Good thinking.
Step well is the right answer.
Sa means dash.
Excellent choice. Lake is the right answer.
Water helps in.
Nice work. You chose all of the above and it is correct.
Sa means.
Smart pick. Lake is the correct choice.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
Sharp thinking. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is the right choice.